Welcome to my video on English pronunciation. My name is Marian from Language Studio Euphema, and today I'll give you a non-native speaker's perspective on how to adjust the posture of your articulators and improve your English pronunciation. This video may be a little bit longer because the concepts I'm going to break down for you guys are a bit abstract and also harder to verbalize, so bear with me there. So let's start out. First of all, it needs to be said that we don't have any special organs that we use exclusively for speech production. For example, we use our lungs primarily for breathing, but without them, speech would be impossible. They provide this necessary airstream, which then travels to your larynx and activates the most important speech organ, the vocal folds. Well, vocal folds are just small strips of elastic tissue. You can close them entirely or you can open them wide. For example, when you whisper, they are fully open. Their primary function is to prevent food and drinks from getting into our lungs so we don't choke. But when it comes to speaking, they have one brilliant ability. They can vibrate. The principle of this vibration is similar to whistling with a blade of grass or strips of paper. The higher the vibration frequency, it means the number of openings and closings, so the higher your voice as well. So for example, adult females' folds vibrate at a frequency of approximately 250 openings and closings per second. Males, having their voice set a little bit lower, have this frequency of openings and closings about 150. But children's vocal folds vibrate like crazy, hitting that frequency of 800 openings and closings per second, and that explains why the voices come out so squeaky and high-pitched. And also when you're stressed or angry, your vocal folds get tenser and shorter. They vibrate more rapidly, and therefore your voice is also higher, but it's also much more complicated to control. But this vibration is nothing more than a silent buzz originally. For it to have more punch, it needs to be amplified. And this amplification happens as the vibrations travel up the vocal tract and bounce off its walls. The upper vocal tract is made up of several articulators. They shape it and this way change how the buzz resonates and sounds. So, a violin sounds differently from cello because it's smaller and has a different shape. So we can't play a violin and expect it to sound like a cello. And in the same way, we can use, for example, the Slovak posture of our articulators and expect to sound English. Now, let's talk about those articulators a bit, shall we? So first of all, our tongue. Yeah? So our tongue is the most flexible of all the articulators and is responsible for a majority of sounds. Let's use it to explore the other speech organs located in our mouth. So closest to your tongue, tip of your tongue, there are upper and lower teeth. If you continue backwards on the roof of your mouth, right behind your upper teeth, you can feel this bony ridge called alveolar ridge. And the smoother part behind the alveolar ridge is called the hard palate. And if you're able to go even further, not everybody can, I can, for example, so you will locate the soft palate, and the soft palate is also called velum, and that can be raised or lowered. So the tongue, the soft palate, lower jaw, and lips are called active articulators because we can change their position and this way influence how and where sounds resonate. Now, as we said before, sounds need space to resonate. So you could barely hear a guitar if it didn't have the body which provides this space where the vibrations resonate and amplify. Now, each language requires you to create the space elsewhere and engage your articulators a little bit differently. It is sometimes called the point of resonance. So the point of resonance is this place in your mouth where sounds get their shape, where they resonate the most, where you mold and form them. So the first thing you need to bear in mind when you are working on your English pronunciation is to shift the point of resonance and also change the posture of your articulators. You can achieve it by creating more space for sounds to resonate in the back of your mouth, right? So you may ask, okay, but how do I do it? Well, I got 7 words for you that you got to remember. Tongue and jaw down, soft palate open. First of all, it's vital, it's really important to relax your tongue and spread it nicely on the floor of your mouth. Especially, I think in American English, your tongue is lower and it is much more relaxed than in Slovak. And also, yeah, it's also a little bit more concave. Sometimes it helps when you lean the sides of your tongue against your molars and push its midsection slightly down, but don't overdo it. Now, you're surely asking, like, how for goodness sake am I supposed to achieve like this concave shape of my tongue, push it down, and keep it relaxed at the same time? Well, that's the hardest part, you know. You'll have to force it for some time, definitely. It won't happen like this, but over time you will develop this muscle memory and it will be easier. But anyway, as far as your tongue is concerned, the key is to keep it relaxed, spread, low, and a bit concave. And well, some people may struggle. If you struggle to do that, you should ask your lower jaw for help. For example, in Slovak, people seem to speak with their mouth more closed. To facilitate more resonance space in the back, you need to unclench those jaws, relax, and drop your lower jaw a little bit more. I don't want you to walk around like a village bumpkin, you know, but opening your mouth just a little more will take your tongue with it too, and as a consequence, it will have a very positive effect on how your sounds resonate. As for your soft palate, it also has to get out of the way to allow more space in the back. I found that when I speak Slovak, my velum is not as raised, or open I should say, as when I speak English. So how to achieve that openness of your soft palate? Well, you know, your velum naturally opens more when you yawn. So if you stand in front of a mirror and look into your mouth, you will see your soft palate in the back of your mouth where your throat starts. And now, when you imitate yawning, or maybe only its initial phase, like this, you can feel that something's happening in the back of your mouth, that the back of your mouth is widening and opening up. And this is how you create more room. That's what I mean by saying more room in that area. So that's the posture of your soft palate you want to retain. The same can be achieved by emulating gagging, like heaving when you're sick. I haven't tried that though, so I can recommend it. I have to say I have a very delicate stomach, and it's a bit gross as well. Well, hey, if you prefer gagging to yawning, just go for it. Just gag away. Another way how to practice shifting the point of resonance is to try to hold a little bit of water in your lower lip while speaking, or biting a pencil and speak at the same time. It like forces you, in both cases, forces you to use the back of your mouth, because obviously you can use your front part of your mouth. And it gives you a little bit of taste how it feels, or what I mean by speaking in the back. You might have also heard before that you need to disengage your lips to have better American English accent. Well, yeah, I mean, when I compare Slovak and English, my lips are definitely less active. They are, or maybe much more relaxed, I would say, but I suspect it happens automatically. I believe that once you shift the point of resonance towards the back of your mouth and you relax your speech organs, your lips will automatically get less activated, and you don't really have to like force it. Now, all that I've just said may sound very abstract, and it also requires a little bit of practice and trial and error on your side, on your part. But I believe that shifting the point of resonance is a real thing, and it can be even heard. It can be manipulated. Now, let me show you. Let's check it out, like how the point of resonance can be shifted, can be brought forward and backwards as well, and how it affects the voice quality. In the American English, you can hear my voice has this throaty quality. Also, I have this chest resonance a little bit because, you know, I'm closer to my chest. My velum is a little bit more open than in a Slovak language. So there's more space in the back of my mouth for sounds to resonate. Now, I will slowly bring it to the front, and you can hear how my voice has gotten flatter, and my soft palate dropped, and my lips got more active, and my mouth is less open. My lower jaw went a little bit up. And because my articulators are in a position for the Slovak language, I am having problems to produce some sounds correctly, and I also lost the chest resonance because I shifted it further away from the chest, so that's why. So the voice has simply lost its English character. Now listen to what happens to your voice when you like bring the point of resonance back again. So slowly I'm opening, lowering my jaw, relaxing my tongue as well. It's a little bit concave, but I'm opening the back and back of my mouth, and here I am, you know, I have it again back. I have this throaty quality. I regained a little bit of this character. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but there is this different quality. You can hear it. I can hear it, so definitely there is something to it. There is something to this shifting, moving the point of resonance. I need to stress again that your articulators have to be relaxed. Just tension is your enemy here. But don't strain your speech organs. It will be a little bit painful, very unpleasant. Been there, done that, believe me. However, when you're stressed out when speaking English, and many people are, your muscles get automatically tense. There's very little you can do about it. And your voice, it's rather hard to control. You know, this stress may also stem from fear of making mistakes and looking incompetent or amateurish. Look, learning a foreign language is an activity for life. There is no such thing as a mistake-free language learning or even mistake-free foreign language speaking. We, foreign language learners, need to see mistakes as an inseparable part of the learning process and get used to their presence. And anyway, you gotta aim for a better comprehension, not necessarily for perfection. You can't just morph into a native speaker of not only English, but any language. But nothing can beat the real experience of speaking with a real person. If you're shy, start small. In a classroom maybe, or with your peers, with other non-native speakers. It may be useful to hire an experienced English coach as well to help you. But it's also incredibly helpful to record yourself and then listen to yourself. You know, first of all, you need to get comfortable with yourself, with how you sound when you speak English. Your ears, your brain must be okay with the fact that, you know, you sound differently in English, and accept the difference and then be willing to cooperate. Because, you know, after all, it's not your tongue, it's not your velum, it's not your lips, it's not your jaw, it is your brain that is a real boss here. It's the most important speech organ because it controls all the muscles involved in speech production. The changes in position of your articulators are very subtle, and no simple explanation packed in a 5-minute YouTube video or a simple trick can make your brain automatically do what you want it to. First, you gotta force it a little bit. You have to teach your brain to make the articulators perform a desired way, and of course it's going to take some time, but after all, they're all muscles and they need to be worked. I hold my fingers crossed for you guys. I hope these tips help you to sound a little bit better when speaking English. You probably won't sound perfectly on the first try, but you know, if you remain consistent, if you remain determined and patient, you are going to reap the rewards of your effort in spades. If you have some questions or you want to ask anything, you know, just drop me a comment down there. It will make me very, very happy. In the meantime, take care guys, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.